Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Shauna. Let's get into this. Excuse me for any background noise. I'm in a new setting right now, alright? But if you're just tuning in, we are going over the laws and the rules of the spiritual, land, and water realms, okay? There are several dimensions, but the Creator only had me tap into these three so we can discuss them, okay? Now, we did go over some fundamental rules already for each realm, and then we started to break down different perspectives and different aspects as they correlate to these three dimensions, all right? We discussed sex, right? So right now we are talking about sex as it pertains to these three dimensions, right? Land, water, and spirit world. And I think it's important for us to first have the conversation of, all right, we'll get to that later. But, all right, sex, okay? In water, right? This water dimension. Now, we did go over water being a portal itself. So, your gifts, and this was when we were discussing spiritual gifts as it pertains to these dimensions, right? And using them and their purposes and things like that. You have to go back a few segments to get into that. I don't want to be redundant here, right? But the overall scope was to pretty much have the conversation of what happens in these different dimensions and how are we utilizing them in this timeline, right? So when you go over to this water dimension, we have, just gone over how water itself is a portal. Whether you're in a shower, whether you're drinking water, whether it's the ocean, it's the sea. But we were mainly pertaining to larger bodies of water, and I had described it as a body of water that can push you into a direction that you don't want to go in, okay? This can happen in any, but mainly like lagoons, seas, oceans, things like that, right? Just larger bodies that are connected to other bodies of water. In a nutshell, okay? But we are talking about water itself. So, as it pertains to sex, we know, and we've discussed this yesterday, that sex is the bridge that connects the spirit to the physical world, right? We need to have sex in order to bring new life, and bringing new life into this room is very much spiritual, right? So sex is not just one of those things to be looked at as a release, okay? It literally is life, and it's not to be perverted. You want to make sure that the activities that you are engaging in, and I mean, we're human, right? I'm not sitting here saying anybody needs to be like Mother Teresa or anything like that. But what I am suggesting is that the sex that you do engage in needs to be palpable, right? It needs to have been happening in the spiritual world. You don't want to just be down here having sex, and this is what leads to karmic ties, soul ties, demonic possession, spiritual attachments, spiritual attacks, because a lot of people are operating out of lust. Lust is this dimension's, form of love. And it's not even love. I'm saying love only because it can lead to love in this, like in the lowest vibration. It's the lowest vibration connected to love, right? A lot of people don't realize that lust is a vibration that is earthbound. yeah, like I said, it can lead to love, but initially that is like the magnet that brings you closer to your prospect, okay? Unless you're operating out of God and God is just like, okay, I'm going to tell you who your person is, and he's shown you your person, he's giving you the circumstances, he may have even given you a name or a birth date or a place or just a circumstance that will allow you to say, okay, this is my person. Again, none of us are nuns, right? I mean, I'm not. I don't know if you guys are, but I'm not a nun, okay? And I have had sex out of wedlock. And we even last year talked about, the difference between abstinence and celibacy and just how sex is an overall threshold, again, to put you in places that maybe the spirit world doesn't want you to be in. That's not a good thing to just go out engaging in sexual activities with anyone. So when it comes to rules and laws, as it pertains to sex on this, dimension, and that, I mean, water, right? You have to understand that, first of all, it's a part of the all, okay? Water is a part of the all. There's nowhere in this universe can you go where water is not somewhere, okay? The atmosphere has water in it. Our bodies have water in it, especially, and I mean, that's obviously for this room, right? Because our bodies, we only need for this dimension. We don't use our flesh in the spirit world, right? But when you start having this conversation and you take it from the perspective of being in this water dimension, right? Or sea, whatever you want to refer to the water as, not only is it a portal within itself, right? When you have sex and you conceive, right? A baby is in water. The baby is in an abyss. Just like the earth is the abyss, right? It's dark, it's full of water. And that's a whole nother conversation, right? But the overall compass here is to be led to the ideas that keep us governed in this room, okay? So a lot of people like to have sex in the water. I'm not exactly sure what type of experience or euphoria it brings them, but I understand that it is an erotic environment and it can ignite a lot of sexual energy, especially if you are vibrating out of lust or love, right? So it's not even like it's a bad thing. If you're human, I'm not sure, if these bodies of water you're deciding to have sex in is safe, right? You don't want to have salt water going up your cuckoo, and you don't want to have chlorine water going up your cuckoo. But hey, to each his own. If it's comfortable and it doesn't give you a bad reaction, who the hell am I? And that's just, again, a whole nother different direction we'll be going. But it's just to open your mind up and really get you to understand how everything is truly connected, okay? Now, this dimension or body of water, if you will, right, is one of those things where we cannot live without it, okay? And none of us would be here without sex. So when I was asking, at least before 20 or 30 years ago, of course, people are cloning and doing the IVF. I'm saying in God-given natural ways, we all have come here through the birth canal of a woman. We've all sat in the abyss for at least 6 months, maybe less, depending on your story, right? The gift here is to be able to utilize the water as a way to connect with your body, with the spirit realm. And you see a lot of people, they have successful home births utilizing what? Water. You're sitting in water. So it's not like it's foreign to human beings to engage and utilize the water. Of course, we know it's a source of healing, a source of releasing, a source of connecting. One of my spiritual gifts, I get so many downloads when I'm in the water, near the water, drinking water. I collect water. I love water so much. So I understand the importance of it when it pertains to spirituality. If you know, you know, right? Water can be used to do a lot of different things. Transfer energy, remove energy, cleanse energy, raise the vibration in the room. It's just so many different things that, and of course you have to be an alchemist and you have to understand the different things that are required to do so. But the gist here is to be comfortable with these environments, and in these environments, yes, it's okay to have sex in water. It's okay to give birth to your baby in water. It's okay to use water to assist you. But remember, we've had this discussion. You necessarily don't need to use the water to enhance your gifts, because it is an activator. It's an activator of your gifts. The water is a portal itself. So when you are connecting with water, you don't need to do anything, nothing at all. The water will do all the work for you. It doesn't really matter, how you perceive this. Understand that the water is a tool to assist you, right? So you don't have to do anything. And I don't partake in like necromancy or anything like that. I'm not a witch. I don't practice like hoodoo, voodoo, witchcraft. I don't put spells on people. I don't spiritually bind people. I don't attack people. My job is to lift and cast out, okay? I get to the root of the problem. I lift up and I raise the energies. I am all about raising the vibration and casting out spirits and entities and energies and spirits that don't need to be dwelling earthbound if they are not good, if they are dark, or just if they need to move forward into another dimension, especially if it's related to genetics or time, right? Or assignment. That is, the time is also assignment. Some spirits are just earthbound. That's their job, right? Of course, the creator will give you that information if he wants to share it with you. And if you have those gifts, you would have to work on learning how to discern what spirits need to be addressed, what spirits don't need to be addressed, and what spirits you need to just allow to come in and do whatever it is that they do. And I'm not saying to be possessed. I'm saying sometimes these are your ancestors. Sometimes these are your spirit guides. Sometimes these are the people that God have sent to help you, right? To assist you along the journey. So you have to be discerning, and you have to be willing to allow God to do what God does. And sometimes you have to get out of your own way, okay? None of this is information that you're just going to be able to Google or, just find laying around. You have to really do spiritual work. You have to do insight. You have to speak with the elders, right? You have to be willing to unlearn everything that you've learned over the course of your life. You have to be open and receptive to your gifts. Everybody has spiritual gifts. We all don't have the same gifts. Some of us do. Some of us have one. Some of us have all. But the scope of this conversation is to pretty much just pay attention to how we're utilizing sex in this water, okay? But I'm going to get up out of here. I do love y'all. Hope y'all are enjoying y'all weekend, drinking y'all water, eating y'all fruit and vegetables, and sipping on your own tea. All right, love y'all. Peace.